Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this because what we're looking at today is honestly just absolutely fascinating. We are talking about a highly structured systemic framework for human connection. And the wild part? It's actually hidden right inside elementary school lesson plans. What looks like super simple everyday childhood lessons on the surface is in reality a rigorous approach to teaching kids how to systematically identify and appreciate the supportive figures in their lives. It's called the architecture of belonging and gratitude, and it's literally all about laying the psychological groundwork for how we understand our place in the world. Before we get into the actual mechanics of this curriculum, I want you to take a second and look at the question right here. Think back to your own childhood. Who is that specific person who helped you? Maybe it was a family member who always listened to you, or a school staff member who just made you feel completely safe when things were feeling a little overwhelming. Hold on to that memory for a moment. In early childhood psychology, identifying these anchor figures is absolutely crucial because a child's developing brain really relies on them to establish a baseline of psychological safety. And without that baseline, well, higher learning becomes incredibly difficult. So, understanding who supports us isn't just some nice, warm thought. It is a vital, necessary life skill that builds real resilience from a very, very young age. So, this overarching curriculum acts as a foundational framework for understanding relationships. It essentially gives young students the specific tools they need to actively value both their personal inner circles and their broader community helpers. The source material outlines how these educational resources don't just, sit back and hope kids figure out socialization on their own through osmosis. No, they actively guide them through it, step by step. By systematically mapping out exactly who is in their corner, children begin to understand the very architecture of their own belonging, and that creates a mental safety net they are going to carry with them for the rest of their lives. Section 1. Building, Bonding, Social Capital.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the curriculum takes a micro to macro approach to build this architecture. It starts right in the child's most intimate environment with what sociologists call bonding social capital. Now, for academics, that refers to tight-knit connections with close friends, family, and colleagues, the people who provide emotional support and a sense of identity. But for a child, this heavy academic definition translates simply to the people they know well and who care about them deeply. It's the absolute bedrock layer of their support system. And here's a surprising fact for you. Developmental psychologists note that children actually begin forming these complex bonding connections, categorizing their in-group, by the time they are just a few months old. So this curriculum is tapping right into that innate, biological drive to belong.
All right, so to ground this big academic concept into an adorable everyday classroom reality, the lesson provides a hands-on activity. The kids draw a picture of their family and closest friends to show who is in their special circle. Now, you might be wondering, why drawing? Well, it turns out that physically mapping out spatial relationships on paper makes these abstract emotional concepts totally tangible for a developing brain. When a child grabs some crayons, puts themselves right in the center, and draws their family all around them, they are literally charting out their psychological safety network. This visual representation solidifies the neural pathways associated with trust and security. It visually proves to the child, hey, I am not alone. These are the people who know me and care about me. Let's move to Section 2, recognizing our community helpers, and see how this builds. Once that intimate inner circle is firmly established, the curriculum asks the child to zoom out. We leave the living room and we enter the broader school environment. And this comparison perfectly captures the expansion of the child's network. On one side, we have the personal inner circle, right? That's the family and close friends offering unconditional love at home. But on the other side, we have the broader community helpers. These are the professionals dedicated to ensuring students' safety and academic growth. The curriculum is teaching the child a really powerful lesson here. Structural support doesn't just come from your family. It also comes from a highly organized community of people whose actual job it is to help you thrive in the world. Recognizing this kind of structural support is a massive milestone in a child's social development. And who exactly are these broader community helpers? Well, the source material specifically highlights teachers who teach them new things, librarians who help them find books, and crossing guards who keep them safe. And let's be honest for a second. For a lot of us, the local crossing guard was our very first real interaction with civic infrastructure. I mean, think about it. An individual wielding ultimate, unquestioned power over morning traffic with just a stop sign and a whistle. Pretty cool, right? Or think about the librarian who guided you to that one specific book that just sparked your lifelong imagination. These roles play massive, incredibly important parts in a student's daily life, serving as reliable community anchors outside the home. Section 3. The power of gratitude.
So the crucial point is, how do we actually synthesize these two expanding circles together? Like, what's the mechanism that activates this whole network? Well, it's done through practice, specifically a structured 3-step creative activity. Step 1, identify the helper. Just name the person who helps you learn or stay safe. Step 2, write an appreciation note to them. Step 3, build a connection. Let's look a little closer at the psychology going on in step 3 here. When a child hands that physical note over to a helper, it creates a reciprocal social loop. The helper feels valued, so they naturally respond with warmth, and that in turn reinforces the child's feeling of safety and belonging. It creates this amazing positive feedback loop of social integration. The curriculum really contrasts the incredibly simple, childlike act of writing a thank you note with the profound, real-world result of building lasting, highly functional social capital. I really want to read this quote directly from the source material because it basically serves as the thesis for everything we've looked at today. Quote, "Practicing gratitude by writing appreciation notes to helpers like teachers and librarians is a valuable way to build connections." And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how gratitude secures these interpersonal relationships. It's not just about being polite. Expressing gratitude actively weaves the child right into the fabric of their community. It literally transforms a crossing guard from just some stranger in a reflective vest into a trusted, acknowledged node in that child's daily support network. Which kind of leaves us with this final thought. We've explored how these educational materials teach kids to systematically identify, map out, and thank their support systems. But look at the question we have here. How can you apply this architecture of belonging in your own adult life? Because the mechanics of building social capital and practicing gratitude, they definitely don't stop working just because we grew up. So I have a bit of a challenge for you. Try doing the Step 2 activity yourself this week. Write a brief appreciation note or even just send a quick text to a professional or friend who helps you safely navigate your day. Thank you so much for learning with me today on this explainer. I really hope it leaves you looking at your own community helpers in a brand new light. Catch you next time.